Welcome to DNA Today. I'm Witkowski.
And I'm Dave Micklos. We're here at Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory discussing news about DNA.
And today our news comes not from just one paper, but from 9 papers, reporting discovering genes in 5 different disorders: diabetes, obesity, prostate cancer, coronary heart disease.
I think you're close enough. But you know, beginning in the 1980s, scientists were successful at isolating disease genes behind rare disorders like neurofibromatosis, cystic fibrosis, and Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Now, this involved taking family members and comparing their DNA and looking for differences between normal and affected members of the family.
Now, it's been much more difficult to find genes involved in common diseases, common complex diseases like schizophrenia or diabetes. And this is because, for 2 reasons. One is that it's thought there are many genes involved in these disorders, any one of which only contributes a little bit to the disease. And secondly, there are interactions with the environment, diet and stress and so on. Family studies can't be used in these disorders. So how did these studies find these genes?
Well, they used a new method called whole genome association, where they look for differences across the entire genome. That's the whole set of human chromosomes. And what they were looking for were differences in single nucleotides called single nucleotide polymorphisms, or SNPs. Now, these amount to single letter changes in the DNA alphabet of A, T, C, and G. Behind us, we see a sequence of DNA, and this would be a SNP in one of our smallest chromosomes, where some people may have a C at this position and others may have a T. Now, the trick was to scan for hundreds of thousands of these single nucleotide polymorphisms across the chromosomes of tens of thousands of people. This takes gene chips to do.
And as David just said, you do these studies not within families, but simply by taking lots of people who are affected and comparing their DNA with the DNA from lots of people who are unaffected. And by lots, we really do mean lots. The Coronary Heart Disease study, for example, examined DNA from over 40,000 individuals. You need to do this because these studies are not very sensitive, so you need large numbers to get statistical significance. And they found interesting things. The diabetes study found 9 genes that played a part in diabetes.
Yeah, and one of these genes was in fact a gene called FTO. I have no idea what that stands for. But it's not only related to diabetes, but to the body mass index. This is a measure of body fat that takes into account your height and your weight. Now, I happen to check my body mass index, and mine's quite good. It's 23.9, which is in the normal range. So I would presume that I have 2 good copies of the FTO gene. How about you?
Well, I think I'm going to keep mine secret.